Johnson, if you don't know, he's a player in the 2022 class who plays in California. He's one of the best high school players in the country, Dior Johnson. He had a very interesting interview in which he said that a high school shot clock is a must-need around the country, and especially in situations like this where it's a close game, you won't just be able to hold the ball the entire time. And after he said that, a lot of other players kind of jumped on that bandwagon saying, yeah, high school does need a shot clock. What do you think of all that?
I think it would be nice to speed the game up, of course. The shot clock in high school might cause a couple of problems, but especially when they are playing that high-level basketball that especially someone like Dior is playing, it is a necessity, because then sometimes the better team won't win just because another team will just try to run off as much time as they can with a smaller lead.
Shot clock, definitely something that the High School Sports Association of America has been discussing in the works for the past couple of years, as the Sailors, still down by 9, are going to handle it with 1:20 to play. Here's May into the corner to Katie Lake. 3 ball. That one's got too much on it. Simmons is there for the rebound, and a jump ball is going to be called. This one's going to stay with the Sailors. 35-26. 74 seconds left to play. Weiss is going to inbound it, finds Simmons, far side, top corner. Simmons works it over to J.C. May, now back to Weiss. 3 ball on the way. That one's off the back iron, no good. Rifle pulls it down, and now they're just going to try to play keep away for the final 60 seconds here. Simmons is going to have to force the foul, and just like that, Jamie Caron is going to head to the free throw line to shoot a pair. And Erica Simmons, not who my money would be on to foul out first, gets her 5th of the game. And big props to all these Sailors girls who are playing with 4 fouls, and none of them fouled out. Now we've only got 60 seconds left in the game. Not that big of a deal as opposed to fouling out before halftime like J.C. May could have done.
Yeah.
So Simmons is going to take a seat on the bench. That's her 3rd game she's fouled out of this year. And the free throw is good from Jamie Caron. She'll have one more. Another reminder that Sailors boys basketball going to be right after this game. We'll be on the call for that later tonight. Sailors hockey as well. Vladen Chase and Brian Harvey on the call for that game at the Howie Dome. Free throws missed. Rebound gathered by Rifle. Another foul called here. I think this one's going to go against Katie Lake, and now she's going to foul out. So Katie Lake gets her 5th of the game. And the Sailors still down by 10, 50 seconds left. I'd like to say there's a chance, but I think you can just as well put a bow on it, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, all these players that are starting to foul out now, it just kind of is a testament to how the game went. It wasn't that bad towards the beginning. It was pretty hopeful, especially late in that second, and in the third it was pretty good as well. But the Rifle Bears just took advantage of these free throws that they'd just been handed basically by the Sailors.
Begs the question, Ryan, what do they need to do to get more points? I mean, I feel like none of this would have happened if they were just able to put up more than 9 points in the first half.
I mean, yeah, there's just so many things you could look to and question the players individually, but I honestly don't know at this point. We've talked about most things as J.C. May drills a 3 right there and kind of shut us up, I guess.
So it's still a 9-point game. May's going to be forced to foul, and that one hurts because she's going to foul out of the game. I'm not sure why Epstein just didn't take it there. J.C. May is going to get her 5th, and she will join Erica Simmons and Katie Lake on the bench. And that's tough, especially after she just rang home a 3-ball. And they're going to say it's her 4th, but that's a mistake. That's not true. That's not. I'm not going to say anything about it. But J.C. May, I think J.C. May knows too.
Yeah,
she came to the bench like she was getting ready to take a seat, and then she kind of just looked at the scoreboard and said, "Oh,
no, I'm still
all right." So May with 4 technically, is going to stay in the game. Not that it matters a whole lot, only 40 seconds to play. Here's Shelby Weiss now running up the far side as... Are they going to say she stepped out of bounds? No, they're going to say it's a foul against Rifle. So the foul goes against Jahira Luna. 26 seconds to go. Sailors down by 10, 39-29. Weiss is going to inbound it, and another foul is going to be called. This time it goes against Delaney Phillips, as she just got tied up with JC May. May was gunning to the ball, trying to catch that inbounds pass, takes a hard spill, and now we're back where we started with Weiss inbounding it from the far side. Shelby Weiss looks over, finds JC May. May crossover dribble. She's going to try to make quick work, maybe get one more bucket here as Phillips fouls. It's a holding call. 39-29. There's 21 seconds on the clock. Sailors are going to drop to 3-8 on the year. Not bad, not bad. It's a lot better than what we've seen in previous seasons. We've alluded to that before, Ryan. Missed shot there from the Sailors. Rifle's going to take it back, and JC May gets another foul. This time she will foul out of the game, as that is her fifth. 12 seconds on the clock. JC May fouls out, and now the boys come into the gymnasium. They're getting ready to hop on the floor in what should be a fun one against a very tough Rifle team. Rifle boys, let's talk about them for a moment, Ryan, coming off of a tough loss against Glenwood, rather. And Glenwood, you know just as well as I do, is one of the tougher teams in this conference. Rifle Bears handling them pretty well begs the question of how well they're going to be able to play the Sailors this afternoon. Stay tuned for that game on 105.7 KTYV, as this girls' game just about wrapped up. You can just about put a bow on it, as Karen's at the free throw line shooting a pair. Second one rims out, and the rebound's going to be gathered by the Bears. And it wouldn't be a Sailors girls basketball game without a foul with 10 seconds left, down by 10. So
the classic.
The classic. And this foul is going to go against Weiss, so Weiss fouls out.
And the Sailors don't have anybody to sub in. So 4 players on the court for the Sailors now.
Are they going?
Nope.
Yeah, so the Sailors are going to be forced to play 5-on-4 basketball for the final 10 seconds of this one, as they go down 40-29. Free throw again missed. One more here from Caitlin Metnick. Metnick, one of the other juniors on this team, at the stripe. Made the second one, so she goes 1 for 2, makes it a 41-29 game. It's a 10-second runoff here as it's worked inside to Epstein. Final shot, and she gets it to go. The three-point play with 2.5 seconds to go. It'll be Epstein heading to the free throw line, and I really just hope and pray that the Sailors don't foul after this coming rebound. That would be...
Yeah, because
there's just no point. I will never understand that for as long as I live. If you're down by more than 3 possessions and there's 2.5 seconds or even less than 15 seconds on the clock, there is absolutely no point to foul. All it does is create injuries, create instances that we just don't want to see. Sailors aren't going to foul there. Epstein made the last free throw, and that'll do it. Sailors going to walk out of this one with a loss, 41-32 against the Rifle Bears. Keep your dials locked, folks, as the Sailors boys looking to put on a show here in Kelly Meek as they come out for warm-ups. That'll do it for this broadcast. For Ryan Hansen, I'm Loan Epstein on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at steamboatradio.com. Keep your dials locked. We'll be back in just a moment.
Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by Valley Bay, Alpine Lumber, Celebration, Mountain View Car Wash, Steamboat Ace Hardware, Rockwood Auto Salon, Mountain Mattress and Furniture, Steamboat Resorts by Wyndham Vacation Rent, and the Paley Group with Colorado Group Realty. Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the kids in our community. Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies for our youth. How do you do that? In addition to local scholarships, ACE invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and supplies to host a hot dog or bake sale. I love it. Every weekend I can shop at ACE and support a great cause. Steamboat Ace, you're proud to support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
This is Mario. You know me as a race car driver. I'm also a volunteer. I race for just the sport's biggest specialty. I've never met more vibrant and able people than the senior circle. You can make a difference by dropping off a meal and saying a pick up. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch club at AmericaLet'sDoLunch.org.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. This. But nothing beats the moment you see that. That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Skip Beardo from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Sailors. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company and is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the Yampa Valley, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, contractor's choice, the homeowner's.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Sam Campbell, and I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm number 45, and I play post and center. I've been playing for 8 years, and I also like to play soccer, and I run cross country. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in orchestra. I play the violin. I've played it for 11 years. I'd like to go to college at Duke or UW, and I don't think I'll play anything in college, maybe intramurals, and probably either soccer or basketball. In 10 years, I see myself working in the field for marine biology, and my favorite subject in school is either Spanish or AP Bio. My favorite movie is Free Solo because it's super dramatic, and I love the people in it, and the soundtrack is amazing. Last summer, I went to a marine biology camp in North Carolina for 2 weeks, and we stayed at UNC Wilmington and did a whole bunch of field work on the beaches in North Carolina, so that was super cool. My goal for the season is to work on my shot form and become consistent, and my goals for life are being successful and happy. What I remember most about being a sailor is all of the people that I play sports with. I love the teams and I love the coaches, and just the team culture is amazing. My name is Sam Campbell. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
I'm Terry, and this is Phil from Russell's Auto Salon. If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we've gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
Rich
is just a really, really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich? No. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailors Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Shelby, and I'm a senior, and I'm number 30. I'm a shooting guard. I've been playing for 10 years. I also like to play lacrosse, and I run cross country. Outside of school, I'm involved with Youth Inspiring Change, and I volunteer at the animal shelter. I would like to go to CU. Let's go Buffs. And I will not be playing in college. Maybe like a hiking club, rock climbing club, who knows. In 10 years, I see myself in the wilderness, guiding people through the mountains. My favorite subject in school is science because I love factual information and it's to the point. My favorite movie is Forrest Gump because it's a classic. Last summer, I went to Thailand and did conservation and sustainability within the local people and elephants. And my goal for the season is to work well together and win some games. And my goals for life are to be successful in everything I do and hopefully travel the world and save the planet, you know? What I will remember most about being a sailor is the family, the friendship, the lessons I learned. My name is Shelby Weiss. I'm a senior and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Wharton of Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball. On KTYV Sports on FM, Steamboat High School Athletics are an example of our genuine hometown, Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game and go Sailors!
The team at Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting Sailor sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the Sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detail services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdowns. Dances.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hi, my name is JC May, and I'm a senior at the Steamboat Sailors High School. And my number is 21, and I play point guard. I've been playing basketball since 3rd grade. I also like to play lacrosse. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in 4-H. I'd like to go to college in Wyoming. I would like to play basketball in Wyoming if I could, but if not, it's not the end of the world. In 10 years, I see myself with a job, living on my own. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Pirates of the Caribbean. I like this movie because of the drama. So this summer, I raised a 4-H market swine named Braun, and I won reserve champion at the Rock County Fair. And as well, I went to 4 different basketball camps, all through PGC, which is Point Guard College Camp, in Boulder, Greeley, and 2 other places. I also went fishing a lot, just as Stagecoach and Steamboat, Lake, and the river. My goal for this season is to tournament for my peers and my community, and my goals for life are to strive. What I will remember most about being a sailor is the community. Once again, I'm JC May, senior at Steamboat Sailors High School, and I am proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
This is Skip Deerdorf from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Sailors. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company that is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the Yampa Valley, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Wallfields. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, contractor's choice, homeowner's choice.
Managing local land involves 19 years of experience managing ranch resources. As your neighbor here in Route County, I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
Hi, this is Grace. My parents own Hot Stuff Hearth and Home and proudly support the Steamboat Sailors. We feature all things heat, fireplaces, stoves, outdoor living, and more. Call the 97614 to schedule a service appointment with one of our expert technicians or a free in-home estimate for a whole new look. Hot Stuff loves my Steamboat Sailors basketball and is happy to keep this valley safe and warm. Hot Stuff Hearth and Home, located just off Highway 40 next to Walgreens. Go Sailors!
Thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV, Sports on FM, Steamboat High School Athletics, an example
for your Steamboat Sailors Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV, Sports on FM.
My name is Kellen Adams, and I'm a sophomore. I'm number 10. I play point guard, and I've been playing for 10 years. I also like to play lacrosse, and I run cross country. Outside of school and sports, I like to fish. I'm not 100% sure where I'd like to go to college, but I know I want to go to a 4-year school. I'm not 100% sure if I would like to play college sport or not. In 10 years, I see myself with a girlfriend and a nice job. My favorite subject in school is math because it's the subject I understand the most. My favorite movie is Horrible Bosses. I like this movie because it's very funny and I like the comedy in it. Last summer, I went to a fishing trip in Honduras with my friend and is to become a better player and improve my game. My goals for life are to have a successful job and family. What I remember most about being a sailor is the brotherhood and the friends I made on this team. My name is Kellen Adams. I'm a sophomore, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
On FM. Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by
Fernandez, Lujan, Robinson, Ruiz, Carrion, Caldwell, Bishop, Wrestler, Caldwell, Pierce.
So Fernandez Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
Now let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors basketball.
Into Kelly Meek we go. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lone Epstein. In the booth with me, Ryan Hansen. Sailors boys basketball on tap.
They're really good at knowing their roles and getting the ball to their scorers and things along those lines, but the Sailors coming into it pretty hot. They've got their identity kind of dialed in a little bit, but different look on the starting lineup tonight as Dawson gets
for practice.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. Connor, you shouldn't have been late to practice, bud. And thanks to that, now you're not starting. So hopefully they're going to be all right without you. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we'll see. Here's Lindquist getting us started off. Buries it. Yes, sir. You betcha. Dawson Lindquist with the 15-footer gets it to go. Sailors take a 2-0 lead here early in the first. Garrett Robinson. Robinson working for the Rifle Bears. Bears coming out with some flashy jerseys here today. They're wearing the all yellow with the black numbers, black lettering, black piping down the sides. They're looking pretty fresh here, the Bears are, as they made the long trek to Steamboat. What is it, a 4.5-hour drive, 5-hour drive?
On a bus.
On an Akey there, as Jake Kreisig with a misfire from 3. Missed everything.
and then missed the high afterwards. Had to go back in for that one.
He's got to get readjusted here. 2-0 Sailors lead. Minute ran off in the first. Ball went out of bounds. Rifle's going to retake possession. Here's Garrett Robinson. Robinson sends it inside to Trayson Lujan. Lujan back to Robinson now. Robinson's going to work it over to Fernandez. Fernandez is guarded by Pollard. Fernandez sends it over to Lujan. Lujan now to Fernandez for a deep two. That one's good. And Fernandez gets it to go from 15 feet out. Good shot there. 2-2. Game's knotted. Here's Lindquist. Lindquist gets called for the travel, and Rifle's going to get it back. So Dawson Lindquist, he's had some issues this year with just being the player that he really wanted to become. I know that going into this season he had huge aspirations, wanted to be player, and that's just really not how it's played out. But you got to give him credit. He's kept such a great attitude, even in games when he hasn't started. He's still been such a good player, and he has been a large asset for this team this season, probably even more so than if he was to be the number one guy.
Yeah, because he's not taking away from the other players, and he really does have that team attitude where after a win where they kind of battle it out and get it by 4, he's more happy after that than if they win by 20 or if they lose by 20, and he has a really nice stat line, and that's what you really like to see from a leader who's also a senior on your team.
A foul called here on Cade Gideon, and they'll send Diego Fernandez to the line. Like I was saying though, Ryan, I think that part of that comes really isn't a number one guy. So for him to not have that title, nobody has that title because it's true, there isn't a number one guy. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and they play off of each other. Coach Vandal's the glue that puts it all together, and this Sailors team looking for their 5th win in a row here this afternoon. Into the corner, Kreisig. Kreisig now swiftly into the post, goes Lindquist, kicks it back to Kreisig. 3-ball on the way, second attempt goes, and Kreisig 1 for 2 now from behind the arc. Way to stick with it and bury the second try. 5-4 Sailors lead. Alonzo Ruiz over to Lujan. Lujan now to Fernandez. It looks to me like the Rifle Bears they're playing a little bit surprised here. They haven't been at Kyle Daniel to see what needs to be done, and a foul is going to be called here as Trayson Lujan came dashing down the lane. He'll shoot 2. Connor Hansen getting ready to come off the bench. He'll get in here. 4:58 to play.
I like what he's aiming to do here.
So Piles counts 4. He's sitting at 0 right now. Lujan hits the second free throw. They go up 6-5. Sailors down by 1. Here's Cade Gideon. Gideon, the freshman sensation, working in a phone booth. He had a wide open shot. I don't know why he didn't take that from the baseline. Instead, he just wraps it around. Now it's Connor Hansen, and the Bears pull it away. Cade Gideon, he's a player that we've talked so much about getting all these starts. He's a freshman. He's only 14 years old. But he's just timid, and he's just scared. He doesn't want to take those shots. He had a wide open shot on the baseline, and don't get me wrong, he's done a better job of being more confident in the past few games, no doubt. But that being said, if you're a starter on this player, I think Coach Vandal really envisions him as a star, and stars shoot.
Yeah, and he can shoot. That's the thing. It's not like he's just some kid that they're throwing out there and he's not shooting some open shot. He can hit a lot of shots.
His talent's undeniable. Yeah. It's just a matter of him piecing it together and really having the rapport with the rest of his teammates to knock down some buckets here as we're about midway through the season now. 6-5, 4 minutes to play in the first. Trayson Lujan dancing his way through the lane. He's going to draw another foul. It'll be blocking against the Sailors. Team fouls so far in the half as opposed to Rifle's 0, and that'll be enough for Coach Vandal to take a timeout. So 6-5 here on 105.7 KTYV. Ryan, what do you think this far?
Trayson Lujan has done a really, really good job of getting downhill into the Sailors' defense for a couple possessions there. The Bears looked a little disoriented, looking over to Coach, trying to see what plays he wanted to get in, but Lujan kind of taking control there, getting it down the court and forcing the Sailors into some foul trouble. relatively early on the first quarter, 4 fouls. I mean, if they continue at the pace, then the Bears should be in bonus in not too long. So looking good for the Bears, but the Sailors on the other end not looking too bad either. They've had a pretty solid first quarter this far.
And Trayson Lujan, you pointed it out, he's definitely going to be the main guy on this offense for the Bears. You look to their other seniors too, though. Carter Pressler, another big-time player, as is Garrett Robinson. So expect to see all three of those numbers in the paint here pretty frequently as they miss a shot on the other end. Sailors get it back, and Connor Hansen throws it away. Here's a fast break opportunity. Lujan can't get the wide-open layup to fall, thanks to Ethan Piles. Maybe a little bit of pressure in his face. Now here's Granger Rowan on the other end. Kreisig lines up the tray, and he can't get it to go. Slow it down now. We're back to where we started with Rifle on the offensive end. Steps back. Here's Alonzo Ruiz just beyond the three-point arc. Ruiz tees up the three. Can't walk it off. Rebound pulled down by Pollard. 6'5" Sailors down. Trayson Lujan making good on his first missed layup. Gets the second one to go. And now it's 8-5 Sailors down by 3.
Heard Jake Kreisig coming from behind. Tossed a shot fake and paid out for him.
Here's Hansen, Piles, inside, Kreisig, turnaround jumper, can't get it to go. Just inches off there, and Rifle pulls it down on the other end. Travel. That time, Tyler Pierce, the junior, gets called for steps. And now we're going to see a change up here as Eric Pollard's going to, Vladden was asking me about Metzler in the pregame, and Kreisig knocks in a nice layup there. Jackson Metzler, man, he might have had the best game out of anyone yesterday. I mean, if we're talking about pure form, stopping
in his rhythm that Coach Van Dahl has worked with him on for so long, and he'll hit those shots in rhythm extremely easily, and he also contributes so much on the defensive end, as you talked about.
Yeah, defensively, I just want to talk about that basketball court. He is a solid player all the way around. I told him today that he should be starting. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Van Dahl gives him a start here in the next couple of games. There's a three ball on the way from Trayson Lujan. He got that to go. Sailors down by 11-7 now. Trying to answer. Here's Metzler in the corner. Down low, Hansen. Thought about taking the shot. He'll back up. Far side, top corner, works it over to Kreisig. Kreisig inside to Rowan. Granger Rowan dishes it. It's Hansen in the corner again. Finds Kreisig inside. He's got Lujan on him. Step back three. Got it. Didn't get it. As it just goes off the back iron. Kreisig trying to hit that step back J to fall. Couldn't get it. And he's got such a pretty shot. That's the one thing about it. You can't really yell at him for taking that shot because he has. It reminds me a lot of Kawhi Leonard, just the way he's able to rise up and at the very peak of his height, when he's eye level with the rim, he lets it go. And most of the time he's going to hit. Not that time. Rifle gets it back on the offensive zone, and an and one play right here for Trayson Lujan. Wow. Lujan took a hard shot, and you could hear him fall to the ground. Ref's discussing here.
Large up, but then it's going to be a block on Granger Rowan.
So Granger Rowan gets called for it, and I think the refs were also refs on the floor. Refs are going to say it was on the floor, and now Coach Kyle Daniel for Rifles heated, so no free throws for Trayson Lujan. They're going to say it was on the floor, and that changes a lot of things here. That's a big break for the Sailors, as the Rifle Bears are going to retain possession, but Lujan, who's one of the better shooters, isn't going to have a chance to put two more up. One more up, rather. So the other thing about it being on the floor is the and one bucket's not going to count. So the 2 points for Lujan aren't going to count. He does not have a chance to make it a three-point play, and this is just going to be a common foul on the floor. Rifle's going to retain possession. No points on the board, still 11-7. Ruiz works over, finds Carter Pressler. Final 23 seconds running off in the first quarter. Pressler works it over to Garrett Robinson. Robinson now dishing it back outside to Ruiz. Ruiz is going to try to spin around Piles. Instead, just gives it back to Pressler. And you've got to go quick here with 10 seconds on the clock. Here's Pressler. He's guarded by Gideon. Carter Pressler dances, top of the key. Ball's tipped up, outside. Three ball on the way, at the buzzer. won't go. That was Cade Bishop, the freshman, and the Sailors are going to take an 11-7 deficit as we go into the second quarter.
We talked about this kind of before the game. In past years, not too many people that seriously. Sometimes it was they considered it a bye, if you will. But if they came into this game with that same mindset, this Rifle team is something new, something different. It's a younger squad, but they have that talent and that leadership on the court in the Western Slope League, and he's only a junior, so definitely keep an eye out for him kind of controlling the court on offense and as well as defense. He's a real team, not afraid to make that one more pass. They're not worried about their stat lines, and they play some good basketball.
And so the Bears and the Sailors coming back for second quarter action. It's 11-7 here on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at SteamboatRadio.com. Sailors down by 4. And, man, we talked about that girls team having a tumultuous first quarter. Boys didn't do much better.
Yeah, similar look right here. 7 points, 5 fouls.
7 points in the first quarter for the Sailors, and that has got to be the lowest scoring output of the year for the Sailors by far.
So, yeah.
It's definitely got to be. So we'll see if they can get something going here. Rifle handles it to start us off in the second quarter. It's going to be Trayson Lujan from the far side. Cross-court pass. He works it over to Diego Fernandez. Fernandez now working it back to Pressler. Pressler inside. Here's a 10-foot J. That one's blocked by Kreisig. Sent back to Fernandez, and he's just going to take it back out, give it to Lujan. What a defensive effort from Jay Kreisig in the paint. Now it's Ruiz. Ruiz to Pressler. Pressler working, finds Fernandez, now to Robinson. Robinson at the top of the key, time running off the clock. This has been a long possession for Rifle thus far. They're just running this shell offense, working it around the perimeter, looking for anything they can inside. And the trap almost got there by Gideon and Kreisig. Now here's Pressler driving in, finds Ruiz along the baseline. He's closed out by Metzler. Now back to Pressler, and they work it around to Robinson once more. Robinson far side top corner, and it's back to Lujan. Lujan can't do anything with it. Cross court. Pressler. Wow. I mean, if you could get a possession like that anytime, no one's beating you.
Absolutely.
Piles answers with the 3 on the other end, make it 13-10 now. It's back to a 3-point game. Rifle coming down, possession. They give it over to Pressler in the corner now. Here's Fernandez. Pressler works it around inside to Ruiz. Ruiz back to Pressler, tees up the 3. That one is too short, and Kreisig's there to get the board. Good defensive stop there from the Sailors. Force them to take that 3 as much as you want. Piles for another one. Rims out. Rowan's there for the rebound and the and one putback.
And that's something I love. Jay Kreisig not afraid to bring the ball up. One pass and to Cade Getty, and then one more to Piles. And that was a good shot for Ethan Piles. Wide open on the left wing. Just couldn't get it to fall there.
And a timeout going to be taken here by Rifle, as they are only up by 1 point now, 13-12. When we come back, it'll be Rowan taking his free throw, trying to make it a 3-point play. I want to say a quick shout out to some of our sponsors here on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at SteamboatRadio.com.
The Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, member FDIC. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Mountain View Car Wash, helping the Sailors clean the competition between town and McDonald's on Highway 40. Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. Russell's Auto Salon, 879-1515. Steamboat Ace Hardware, the helpful place for hardware, plumbing, tools, grills, garden, and more by offering customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. The Paoli Group, if you're searching for your own prime real estate, give them a call at 870-0552.
So out of the timeout, Granger Rowan going to head to the free throw line to try to make this a 3-point play, convert on it, tie the game up. 13-12, Sailors down by 1 as 5 minutes, 32 seconds remain in the first half. Sailors 5-7 on the year, looking for their 6th win of the year. Rowan misses the rebound, and now Kreisig gets the board, and they're going to blow a whistle on Jake Kreisig. Gives the ball back to Rifle. Did they get him for a foul? I'm wondering. I don't think so. I think they might have got him for a lane violation. And so the Bears get it back. Not that it matters because Rowan missed a free throw anyways. Here's Pressler for the Bears. Looks inside. Ruiz, 2 steps to the basket. Now Lujan catches the pass. Gives it back out to Robinson. Good defensive stop there for the Sailors. Lujan on the far side, over to Robinson. Now inside to Ruiz. Ruiz gives it back to Robinson. He's at the top of the key. Robinson to Lujan. Lujan cross court to Pressler. Pressler to Ruiz, and Ruiz is going to pull it out again. This time it's stolen away by Metzler and company. So the Steamboat defense working wonders here. It's going to be Cade Gideon once more. Gideon inside, back cut to Metzler for 3, and it falls. Jackson Metzler, ice water rushing through his veins. Man, oh man, this kid's a stud. Pressler, Rodriguez tees it up to answer. Misfire. Lindquist on the other end for the Sailors. Here's Metzler in the corner. Trying to run the pick and roll action with Lindquist. Foul's going to be called against the Bears as Kreisig was diving to the rim. And it won't result in any free throws, but the foul will go against Garrett Robinson. And now Ethan Piles is going to inbound it for the Sailors with 4:03 remaining to play. 15-13, the Sailors take their first lead of the game. Piles inbound and a touch pass to Kreisig. That's about as pretty as it gets right there, Ryan.
Super easy. Jake Kreisig using the height to his advantage, towering just about 7 inches over the nearest Rifle defender.
17-13, over to the near side it goes. This time it's Pressler, back to Rodriguez. Pitch and catch now, it's to Ruiz on the far side. And this Rifle team is just taking time with their possessions. Pressler dishes it to Robinson. Robinson now going to step out of the box, work it now to Ruiz. He gets to the rack and he'll draw the foul. No, they're going to say he traveled. So that's a big time play, almost most certainly would have been called a foul against the Sailors, but instead Ruiz steps and the travel's called against the Bears. Piles, the senior, to Hansen. Haven't seen him in a few moments. Hansen on the far side. He's going to pivot, send it down low to Kreisig, tees up the deep 2, and rims it home. Wow. Jake Kreisig, is he going to get credit for 3 there? I don't believe so. So they're only going to give him 2, and he puts the Sailors up 17-13. That'll be enough for the Bears to have a timeout. And the Sailors looking to just get those gears clicking now as we run under halfway to go in the first half.
Yeah, I've done a better job of actually seeing it cross court. Cade Gideon kind of got it started with that nice touch pass to Jackson Metzler in the corner for 3. That was a pretty hard pass to make. Got up in the air, caught it, saw the corner, and dropped it down to Jackson Metzler for the 3 there. And I mean, and then we come back and we see a nice lob pass from Piles to Jay Kreisig for the easy lay. And those are just the buckets that this team could do almost every single possession. They are so talented, but sometimes they just have those lapses. And as we see, 20-13, they kind of corrected their errors a little bit.
Seems like the spotlight is shining on somebody new every single play. And that's exactly the way you want it if you're Coach Van Dahl. Not a single star on this team, but loads of superstars, rather, as Rifle's going to come back with it on the other end. Here's the Bears. It's Ruiz. They've been having with the Sailors defense. They've been having trouble with the Sailors defensively all day. They almost get it poked away there. Lujan to the rack for 2. That one's too high off the glass. Goes off the rim. Sailors quickly now working. Here's Lindquist along the baseline. Sends it out. Kreisig. No look pass to Piles. Backdoor to Gideon. You betcha. Cade Gideon hyped up. The freshman getting his first points of the game. And 1. He's going to have a chance at 3 here. And the ball movement from the Sailors, you saw it there, so meticulous, so perfect. I mean, you go back and you watch old games and you see the team that comes to mind for me is like the Spurs of the early 2010s, that 2009, 2010, 2011 Spurs team when they were getting 8, 9, 10 passes off before every shot. It's teams like that you can kind of tell Coach Van Daal's trying to reminisce and get a lot of passes off. Beautiful ball movement from the Sailors, and it works out for a couple of points there. 23-13, and just like that, the Sailors turn it around after a 7-point first quarter. They go up by 10 here in the second. So it's Ruiz driving in. Now Lujan in the corner. Rifles in big need of a shot, and it's Fernandez answering. Diego Fernandez can't hear the crowd as he knocks one through. 23-15, 2 minutes to play before halftime. Here's Piles. Piles on the far side. He's guarded by Lujan. Bounce pass to Lindquist, holds it above his head, shoots it to Hansen, one-arm pass to Kreisig. They work it around the horn. It's Piles again, inside. Kreisig with 3 on him, turns around and hits it. And a muscular mismatch as Kreisig takes on the entire team and succeeds. Wow. I've said it over and over again. I think Kreisig might be the best player on this team if we're talking about raw talent. And boy, he's showing off here this afternoon.
Showing off, that's a pretty good way to put it.
Kreisig again. And he just towers over Fernandez on that shot. Drops it in with a teardrop. I mean, that just about hit the moon before it came down.
Yeah, Kreisig always has had impressive arc on his shot, and right there is a very good display of it.
27-17, Lujan can't answer on the other end. Ball's on the floor, foul's going to be called, and this one goes against the Bears. Excuse me, this one goes against the Sailors. Daniel, why were you clapping? Daniel Raper in the booth with us, running our camera. He was clapping against the Sailors. Not very team-worthy there.
Kind of a questionable move, I'd say.
I'm kind of disappointed, too. But that's all right. We still like you, Daniel. Daniel plays on the JV team for the Sailors, hopefully getting some varsity minutes here.
Young star.
Young star. He's a young star.
He's a young star.
He's a young star. And with Fernandez at the free throw line, he misses the second one, bricked it, got his own rebound, dishes it out to Lujan. Oh man, I thought Lujan was going to walk into that three. Instead, he pulls it out, gives it back to Fernandez, and now we've got 39 seconds to play before halftime. It's Lujan dishing. Ruiz inside, back to Lujan, top of the key, stutter step. Ruiz lines up the tray, no good. Pulled away by the Sailors with 23 seconds to go in the half. Looking to get the last shot off as they lead 27-18. 16 seconds on the clock. Here's Gideon. He's going to ISO. Gideon, is he going to do it himself? 10 seconds on the clock. He dishes to Kreisig inside to Gideon, and he caps it off. The freshman flexing his muscles. 29-18. Sailors going to take a big lead into the locker room here. Up by 11 points. And everybody is putting in work for the Sailors. What an impeccable first half. For Ryan Hansen, I'm Lowen Epstein on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at SteamboatRadio.com, saying keep your dials locked because we'll be back after the break.
Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by
Valley Bank, Hot Stuff, Hearth at Home, Alpine Lumber, Celebration, Mountain View Car Wash, Steamboat Ace Hardware, Russell's Auto Salon, Mountain Mattress and Furniture, Steamboat Resorts by Winter Vacation Rental, and the Paley Group with Colorado Group Realty.
Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
The team of Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting Sailor Sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the Sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detail services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdown dances.
Hi, this is Grace. My parents own Hot Stuff Hearth and Home and proudly support the Steamboat Sailors. We feature all things heat, fireplaces, stoves, outdoor living, and more. Call them today at 879-7614 to schedule a service appointment with one of our expert technicians or a free in-home estimate for a whole new look. Hot Stuff loves my Steamboat Sailors basketball and is happy to keep this valley safe and warm. Hot Stuff Hearth and Home, located just off Highway 40 next to Walgreens. Go Sailors!
Hi, Steamboat friends. This is Charlie Green from Mountain Mattress and Furniture. Do you ever notice how grumpy your parents get when house guests arrive? Or how mean your big sister gets when you have to share her room for the weekend? I've got the secret to keep everyone happy. Stop by Mountain Mattress and Furniture on Loggers Lane for the best price and selection on Serta, Tempur-Pedic, and Simmons mattresses. Plus a great selection of linens and even comfy mattresses for the pull-out couch. If everyone sleeps, everyone stays happy, and a great mattress from Mountain Mattress and Furniture is the secret.
Hi, this is Cindy Hike, owner of Celebrations and Steamboat Arts on the 8th block of Lincoln Avenue. We recently added a new candy store and pottery painting studio for individuals or groups of 12 people or less. Check out our new additions to the arcade. We have air hockey, dig dug, and Galaga. Book a party online today at steamboatcelebrations.com or call 879-3333. Mention this ad and receive 2 food tokens. I'll see you at Celebrations, 831 Lincoln Avenue. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is James Bogan. I am a senior. My number is 32. My position is a shooting guard. I've been playing basketball for 6 years. I also run cross country and track. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in my church as a leader for the younger kids. I like to go to college at University of Wyoming after 2 years at Colorado Northwestern Community College. I will not be playing any sports in college. I will just try and get my degree. I see myself in 10 years as being a game warden or any Parks and Wildlife officer. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Jurassic Park, the original. I like this movie because it's a original movie that I just enjoy. Last summer I worked at an auto store to work off my car, and I ran cross country to help myself. My goal for this season is just have a fun time. What I will remember most about the Sailors is how oriented we are as a team program. We don't see ourselves as individuals or seniors. We all see ourselves as sailors, and that helps us. James Bergen, senior, proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
This is Skip Yerdorf from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Springs. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company that is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the Yampa Valley, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, contractor's choice, the homeowner's choice.
I'm Terry. And this is Phil from Russell's Auto Salon. If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we've gone green with enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell Auto Salon.
879-1515.
Steamboat Resorts not only offers a large array of properties that can host your next steamboat vacation, we have been giving back to the Yampa Valley for more than 30 years. Hi, this is Todd Seekin, Executive General Manager for Steamboat Resorts. Steamboat Resorts and its local employees have been partnering with our community since 1980. From Sailor Sports to the Pro Rodeo Series, Route County 4-H, and Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, to name just a few. Call us at 879-8000 or go online to steamboatresorts.com. Steamboat Resorts, your locally lodging leader.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailors Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, my name's Jake. I'm a junior in high school. I'm number 32. I play wing mostly, some center, kind of all around. Playing varsity this year. I also like to play other outdoor activities and video games, stuff like that. Outside of school sports, I'm also involved in my family and friends and all that other stuff. I'd like to go to college at CU or CSU. I'll play in college if the opportunity presents itself. I would obviously be playing basketball. In 10 years, I see myself going to school for business, hopefully looking to start one. My favorite subject in school is history because it relates to everything that's going on today. My favorite movie is Escape Plan. I like the movie because there's a lot of action and it keeps you thinking. Last summer I played a little travel ball and hung out. My goal for this season is to stay healthy and improve from last year. My goals for life are to not work too much and have no regrets. What I will remember most about being a sailor is the teammates I've met. Jake Kreisig, Jr., proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailors Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Wharton of Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM. Steamboat High School Athletics, an example of our genuine hometown. Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game and go Sailors!
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Route County. I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the kids in our community. Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies. How do you do that? In addition to local scholarships, Ace invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and supplies to host a hot dog or bake sale. I love it. Every weekend I can shop at Ace and support a great cause. Steamboat Ace, you're proud to support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
This is Steamboat Sailors basketball, brought to you by Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, The Quarter Slice, Mountain View Car Wash, Russell's Auto Salon, Steamboat Ace Hardware, UC Health at Yampa Valley Medical Center, Chris Puckett at the downtown Edward Jones office, Steamboat Resorts by Wyndham Vacation Rentals, and Mountain Mattress and Furniture.
Now let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors basketball.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fun one thus far at Kelly Meek Gymnasium as we get set to tip off third quarter action here. Sailors boys basketball in a tight race with Rifle, as Rifle made the trek down here this morning to come play the Sailors. The Bears, a cross-county conference rival. And, man, after a 7-point first quarter, the Sailors bounced back in that second quarter, putting up 22 points to go to the locker room leading 29-18. Now coming out of halftime, they're going to get us started off here right away. It's a three ball from Kate Gideon. I mean, that's right. You want to talk about confidence. He must. Coach Van Dahl must have said something to him at halftime as he knocks the three ball in. from way downtown. 32-28. Sailors taking a commanding lead here. Rifle really just has had no answer, and the entirety of this game, Ryan, we've seen Rifle run a very similar possession each time. Right now, as it's going on, you can see Lujan with it in the corner. Here's a three. Lujan misses, but they basically just work it around the arc 4 or 5 times. Occasionally something opens up on the inside, but if it doesn't, they're taking these silly 3-point shots. They're taking far fadeaway shots with a hand in their face, and it's just not working out for them. They're not getting these high percentage looks like the Sailors are. Yeah, Coach Vandal always talking about those contested 2s and 3s off the dribble. Well, this is the perfect game for that because that's what they've been doing every single shot. And I mean, as you said, the possessions are all the same for the most part. You see Garrett Robinson standing about the same 5-foot bubble for most possessions at the top, just swinging the ball around. So here's Robinson. Let's see if they can change it up. Robinson gives it over to Ruiz. Ruiz now back to Robinson. It's in the corner. Lujan drives the baseline, splits the defense. That was a great move to get to the rack, but he couldn't quite finish it. And now the foul's going to be called as Alonzo Ruiz went up for the second attempt. Man, I feel like Trayson Lujan has a lot of tricks in his bag. Maybe just not getting the opportunity that he really should be on this Rifle team. Yeah, we've seen him take a few shots. We saw him hit a really nice baseline jumper to cap off a drive in the first half, and it was a really nice shot. It was a one dribble pull-up contested, and he hit it. So he is their go-to guy, averaging about 15.8, almost 16 points. He is that guy for this team. So Ruiz goes 1 for 2 from the line. We'll see how Lujan is able to fit in the remainder of this game. Now here's Ethan Piles and company back on the other end for the Sailors. Piles drives in, kicks it out. Kreisig for 3. You bet. Jake Kreisig. Easy. Too easy. You really going to leave my man open that like that? Come on now. He's going to make you pay. Robinson now over to Ruiz. He's guarded by Gideon. Sailors have so much length on the floor right now. Just no passing lanes as you're dealing with the arms of Eric Pollard, Kreisig, Lindquist, Gideon. I mean, it's tough to play against this Sailors team as Rifle misses a shot there. 35-19, Sailors dominating thus far. Here's Piles again from the far side. Back to Gideon. Gideon back to Piles. Piles in front of the Sailors Steamboat student section. Works it inside to Pollard. Posts up, and he gets called for the charge. So a good job from Ruiz on sacrificing the body. Obviously, that's a call that you want to disagree with, but you got to give credit to Rifle for taking the charge there. And now a change up on the floor for the Sailors as Ethan Piles checks out of the game, as does Cade Gideon. So Hansen in, and Metzler is too. Ruiz for Rifle. Here's Robinson. Robinson being left open. Little zone defense here for the Sailors as Robinson works it into the corner. Ruiz, Pressler, pull up Jay, buries it. Carter Pressler making it rain from 15 feet. 35-21 now. Here's Hansen. Hansen's been cold the past couple of games. I'd really like to see him heat up as he's going to bring it beyond the mid-court line. Now sends it to Lindquist in the corner to Metzler. Back to Hansen. Hansen's going to get some space. Try the 3. And right as I say that, Connor Hansen knocks down the triple. Got to shut you up. Did I not just call it? Come on. That's it. Did I not just call it that he needed to get hot? That's right. 100%. To answer. Robinson does. That's a big-time shot from the senior, 38-24. It's a 14-point game. Sailors leading with 4.5 to play. Lindquist trying to give it in to Kreisig. He palms it away, pulls up from 15. No good there. Dawson Lindquist to get the rebound, and a foul's going to be called against Rifle. So he couldn't get it to go there, but Jay Kreisig with yet another wide-open shot. I mean, if you're Rifle, I feel like at this point in time, you probably want to put your best defender off of him and say, don't let this guy get the ball. Yeah, I'm not sure what the disrespect's about, but if I was Rifle and I was Coach Daniel, I would no doubt be putting 2 on Kreisig. Yeah. I'd honestly rather have anyone else shoot the shot. as Kreisig uses his length to kind of box out. And one thing about his game, he uses his entire body. You can see him, he gets into this L-shaped form and kind of just makes all the defenders around him, just gives himself a bubble. It's such a nice way of playing the game, and he's such a valuable asset to this team. Here's Hansen, far side top corner. We just saw him knock home the three. And he gives it back to Piles. Steamboat's going to take a timeout. So the Sailors look to be pretty comfortable with a 14-point buffer. I think they just keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and if the Bears want to keep running off the time, then the Sailors will most likely just continue to stay in this flex zone they've been playing, which has been working incredibly well. The Sailors doing a great job of keeping in their own zone, but also helping their other teammates out. They're doing an excellent job of rotating and then helping the helper, and that's something that Coach Van Dahl has a huge focus on, running drills in practice almost every single day just to combat that one-man down scramble mode. And it, as you see today, holding rifle to 24 points, it's been working pretty well.
Sailors coming out of the timeout now. They're going to be on offense. Hansen's going to inbound it over to Piles. Piles will bring it up beyond midcourt. He's at the top of the key, gives it over to Kreisig. Kreisig now working. He's got two on him. Ruiz behind him and Rodriguez in front of him. Now he gives it back to Piles, looks inside. Kreisig trying to post up. He loses it. Stolen away by Lujan on the other end, and the foul's going to be called before he can even get to the basket. Good play by Connor Hansen. Don't want to risk the and one opportunity. So Hansen fouls him about 15 feet from the basket, which, doesn't give him the opportunity to take a shot. It's a really smart basketball play from Hansen as coach pulls him out of the game. He's got 2 fouls now. Robinson inbounding, finds Lujan beyond the arc. He's going to make Cade Gideon miss, send it to Ruiz for 3. No good there. Metzler's consistent enough to grab the rebound. Hansen. Gideon in the corner, lines it up again, and the Sailors are doing such a great job of finding the relapses in this rifle defense. I mean, Gideon was wide open. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you gave me a couple tries, I probably could have knocked that shot down, but Gideon with nobody even in the vicinity.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think's going to happen?
And it was the exact same spot that he had just drilled a 3 from at the beginning of the half.
So I'm not sure what Rifle's doing here. There's just way too many wide open looks for the Sailors, and that's not going to fly if you're trying to win this one. 3 minutes to play in the third, 41-24. Rifle working. Here's Ruiz at the top of the key. Ruiz gives it over to Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez back to Pressler on the far side. Work it around the horn again. Quickly now, this is going to be Cade Bishop, the freshman. He puts up a floater. That one's got too much on it, and the Sailors get it back. Piles beyond the black line. Bounce pass inside to Rowan. Rowan's going to post up. Now find Gideon beyond the perimeter. Flip pass over to Kreisig. Now he dishes it into the corner. Nice ball movement here from the Sailors. They work it back to Piles near side top corner. Rowan finds himself with it at the top of the key. Inside, Piles, wide open look, and he's going to draw the foul. So the Sailors just very meticulous and surgical about where they go with the basketball. They move it around the horn, and then finally they dump it inside to Piles, who draws the foul. I mean, they're pretty much near perfection at this point.
Yeah, Coach Van Dahl likes to, at this point of the game, he likes to try and change sides with the ball, 3 times before any shots taken, and you would be enamored with how much it opens up the floor just switching the side of the floor that the ball is on, and because it just pulls that zone in different ways and then creates wide open looks, as you saw Ethan Piles got down there and just capitalized, drew the foul, and made one of his free throws right here.
So here's Ruiz. That's Alonzo Ruiz. Works it over to Robinson. Robinson back to Ruiz. Ruiz dribbling between his legs. Flip pass over to Robinson. Now into the corner. Robinson handles it once more. Far side top of the key. Robinson over to Tyler Pierce. Pierce not getting a lot of time, but he's in right now, and he handles it guarded by Rowan. Over to Lujan. Lujan pull up Jay. That one's short. Rebound gathered by Kreisig. Sailors zone defense playing a huge part in this game here thus far. Kreisig corrals the pass, and then he's fouled. And I'm not even sure how he got his mitts on that one, as he kept it from going out of bounds, draws the foul, and Jay Kreisig, have yourself a game.
He wanted that dunk so bad. He went up to Piles afterwards and kind of was like, man, only if I could have got it back a little bit more.
And we saw Kreisig hit a dunk earlier in the year. Man, I miss the days of Mac Riniker flying through the air with the windmills and the fun stuff like that. And the thing about it is that there's kids on this team who can do the same thing, probably better. And Kreisig is one of those kids. And I'm waiting for him to throw down a overtime TikTok worthy.
Yeah,
you know, let's get this guy on the gram type of dunk.
Exactly.
As he works it on the other end, it's Rifle, Tyler Pierce, Pressler, bounce pass, Lujan. Lujan over his head, finds Pierce. Pressler drives in, puts up a floater, and he gets it to go. So Pressler with the one-arm teardrop gets it to fall. 43-26, 1:02 to play in the third. Kreisig to Metzler. Metzler, far side, top corner. He's guarded by Pierce. Down low now to Kreisig. Kreisig goes behind his back, between his legs, steps out of the defense, now dishes it over to Gideon. Now back to Hansen. Hansen's going to flip it inside to Kreisig. He'll try to post up using his big body to his advantage. Instead, he just sends it out to Gideon, and they're going to slow it down. Final 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Here's Metzler. Inside finds Lindquist. Lindquist dishes it to Kreisig. Turnaround jumper, and he got it to go. And that is just unguardable, frankly.
When he's got almost a foot on the person defending him, especially, his stroke isn't going to fail on someone as big as him. So when someone's a little bit shorter than him, he just shoots right over him.
Trayson Lujan. Final 10 seconds in the third quarter. Lujan's going to have the ball in his hands. He'll do it himself. Lujan drives in, pull up Jay, trying to answer, no good. That'll do it after three. Sailors putting together one heck of a couple of quarters here. If you tie together the second and third quarters together, I mean, they have put up 36 points in just 16 minutes. It's been a great performance thus far from the Sailors. And if you're just joining us in what was a tight one, now leading by nearly 20 points against the Rifle Bears, 45-26 here on 105.7 KTYV. You can also catch our live stream at steamboatradio.com. I'm Lowen Epstein in the booth with Ryan Hansen. Want to say a quick shout out to some of our sponsors as the Sailors on the road to their sixth win of the year.
Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, member FDIC. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Mountain View Car Wash, helping the Sailors clean the competition between Town and McDonald's on Highway 40. Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. Russell's Auto Salon, 879-1515. Steamboat Ace Hardware, the helpful place for hardware, plumbing, tools, grills, garden, and more, by offering customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products.
Fourth and final frame of action here on 105.7 KTYV. Thanks to everyone who's remained tuned into this game. Thanks to everyone who listened to us earlier as the Steamboat girls dropped a tough one against this Rifle squad. And Ryan, we're going to take a look ahead here to this boys' schedule Tuesday. They're heading to Battle Mountain to play a Huskies team that arguably might be their biggest rival. How do you expect that game to go? Huskies with the 6'7" Liam McKenney. He's going to match up well versus Eric Pollard, but outside of that, is there any team really who can compete with this Sailors shooting performance?
Shooting-wise, I'm pretty unsure because Glenwood Springs, they usually can stripe the ball, but I honestly don't know. Just the way that this Sailors squad can space the floor all the way down into their benches, 8th and 9th men, all the way down. Those guys would be some of the better shooters on other teams in this league, so I honestly would probably say that the Sailors have the potential, and if not already are, the best shooting team in the Western Slope League this year.
Team reminds me a lot of the Denver Nuggets, if you really want to go that far to compare, but just in the sense that there's really not a superstar. Obviously, you have Jokic on Denver. You could make the argument for Lindquist or Pollard on Steamboat, but same type of deal. And like you said, Ryan, you look at this Sailors bench, you start going 8-9 guys into the lineup, and you've got some kids who can play. You start looking at the Devin Crawfords and the Jackson Metzlers and the Granger Rowans. These are all kids who, like you said, on any other team would probably be starting. And, I watched the JV game earlier. You've got a lot of potential down there, too. Parker Lindquist, another tall player. He's the brother of Dawson Lindquist. He's looking to be a big-time player here in the next couple of seasons. Ben Bogan, he's a big body. He'll dominate when he's 18 years old. Coach Ibarra's son, George Ibarra, he's a great athlete all the way around. So to say this Sailors team isn't in good hands would be a lie.
Yeah, that'd be plain false, I believe.
Sailors very deep, very strong, and looking to be led by the likes of Cade Gideon for years to come. On the offensive end for the Sailors, here's Gideon. Sailors leading by 17, 47-30, 6.5 to play. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the ball game. Metzler handles it, far side top corner. Metzler's going to give it over to Kreisig. Kreisig now at the top of the key, dishes it to Gideon. Gideon just kind of running this pick and roll offense, finds Metzler back in the corner. He's on the far side. Metzler's going to handle it. Now work it down low. Rowan stops, pops, shoots. That one's no good from 3, and it's pulled away by Robinson. Robinson and company finds Lujan, drives into Pollard, and the foul is going to be called on Eric Pollard as Trayson Lujan will shoot 2.
I think as a last-second resort there, Eric tried to take a charge on Lujan, who is almost about half of his size.
Eric, I hate to tell you, bud, but I don't think you're going to win a lot of those calls. I don't think the refs are going to see this as an even match. Eric Pollard been a big story for the Sailors this year as they take a timeout before Lujan can shoot free throws. Eric Pollard, like I said, though, just kind of somebody who's just this year started coming into his own. Everyone who knows Eric knows that he's a soft-spoken kid, a very nice kid, bright individual. But really, before this year, he always was tall. He always was, had the height and the build, but before this year, he never had really put it together in a lot of off-season work during the summer, off-season work before the season started with Coach Van Dahl, going to all these camps, working 1v1. He's put in the effort behind closed doors, and it really has paid off for him. But it's been an interesting story because he's a 6'9" junior, and just the way that they're able to utilize him, to me, I think is so interesting.
Yeah, coming 7th and 8th grade, he was always on the B or C team just because he didn't want to get that aggressive with the other players. But coming into high school, he kind of started to understand, I might have to use my height advantage over just about everyone to my advantage. And, this year, as you said, just that work with Coach Kelly Meek and in the Kelly Meek gym alongside Coach Michael Van Dahl, it's just been monumental for Eric's game, and it's brought him so far.
And he's still got another year left of basketball. Who knows where it could take him as he gets set to enter his senior year. Like you saw right there, Trayson Lujan missed the free throw. Pollard goes up for the boards. This is a guy who could potentially be giving you 15 and 10 in your sleep. And Kreisig with another three-point shot. Jake Kreisig having a big game. Last time we saw him play this well was actually at home. You remember that game?
Moffat County, I do.
Versus Moffat County, that's right. Kreisig went for 19 in that game, and he's looking to put up something similar here today as he's there for a board. Here's Kreisig driving, behind the back pass, into the corner. Metzler to finish it. Can't do it. Pollard's there for the rebound. Second attempt. Got the foul. Holy mackerel, that would have been the prettiest thing I've seen all year. If they were able to finish that off, it was Kreisig behind the back to Gideon, and then Gideon dished it down low. and Metzler just couldn't get it to go, but lucky enough, Pollard was there for the board and to draw the foul. 50-30, Sailors dominating this one as they're looking to get in and get out. Saturday afternoon game, Ryan, and you know, Saturdays in Steamboat, always fun. You and I know, being a teenager here, a lot of distractions, but this Sailors team, for the most part, does a very good job of not keeping their noses out of trouble. You know, you only hear good things about these players, and Coach Vandal really has raised up a bunch of good character guys.
Character, that's a big word for the program. They always talk about that at the beginning of the year. It's all about character.
And the Sailors, like I said, Saturday basketball games for these fellas, and Tuesday they'll be taking on Battle Mountain as they lead here by 20 in the fourth quarter, 50-30, 5 minutes to play. What a nice up and under by Cade Bishop. And even Ryan, you're giving him an applause there. Bishop went up and under. You want to know something about him? He's a freshman too. You think Cade Gideon's special? Oh, this man Cade Bishop. How ironic is that? He's something different too. Bishop on the floor for the Rifle Bears. He's wearing number 20. Here's a three from Pressler, and he gets it to go. That's the first three-point shot we've seen from the Bears in a long while, as they're still down 52-35. 4.5 to play. In the corner we go. Hansen trying to answer. Rims out. Halfway down before it came out, and ball goes out of bounds. Sailors going to have to head back on defense.
Eric Pollard playing at the top of the zone. Coach Vandal not really worried about rebounding, as you have the 6'7" Jake Kreisig in the middle, and it's just you can really just put these guys wherever they want. They're gonna get the board.
So much fun. I can't even imagine what it's like coaching this team. Coach Vandal, here's a three from Rodriguez, buries it. So Rodriguez goes back to back from the line and hits two of them. The first one was from Pressler, but closes the gap to make it 52-38, and now a travel's going to be called on Kreisig. Rifle gets it back. But like I was saying, Ryan, it must be so much fun to coach this team if you're Vandal, just because of the possibilities you have. You have so many different types of players on this team. You have versatile guys like Jake Kreisig, who can really do anything from the perimeter all the way inside. You have big post guys like Eric Pollard and Dawson Lindquist. You have guys who are quick point guard shooters who like to work around the edges. That's Connor Hansen. That's Ethan Piles. And, there's just really so many different combinations of lineups you can come up with, and it's different every game. We see something different every game, and we see how these guys work together, and it really just has been a fun season thus far.
Yeah, and not only do we see something different every game, it almost seems like most of the time we see something different work exceptionally well every game. Just, hey, let's maybe try this with this, and it just works because these guys know each other and they know themselves, and that's just a huge part of this team.
Lujan gets a steal on, now he had it going back the other way, missed the wide open layup. Sailors pull it down. Here's a fast break opportunity. Hansen's able to pull it away. Hansen's just going to slow it down, and Coach Vandal's going to take a timeout. Sailors maybe getting a little bit sloppy here in the fourth quarter. You can tell that's why Coach Vandal is a little bit frustrated, even though his team's up by 16 points. So he's just going to have to, calm him down. I get that this one's about in the bag, but let's still play good team basketball. Let's walk out of here with a big-time win over a big-time opponent.
Yeah, one thing Coach Vandal said at the beginning of this year, was that in past years they've kind of hoped for a district championship, or like they have these goals set, but he said they also need to remember that to them each game is their championship. So even if they are up by a significant amount of points, he's going to still want the players to be playing at their highest level. We saw it last year in Summit when the Sailors scored 70 points and kept Summit to right around 32, 33 points. He was still not very happy after the game because he knew that his team could be playing better than they were. And as we saw right here, he called a timeout and said, hey, I don't care if we're beating this team. We got to tighten it up.
And this is a team that started off the year, at one point they were 2-7.
Yeah.
And now they're looking to move on to
7-7.
They're looking to be 500 after this game. That is correct.
Yeah.
So they'll move on to 7-7 with a win here. They've strung together 5 straight wins now, and I have a feeling the loss total for the Sailors isn't going to be much more than 7 at the end of the year.
Yeah, especially considering league play now.
So a lot of people are going to forget just how far this team has come, when they're sitting there at 15-7 when the year ends.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people wrote the Sailors off once they saw Mac Rinneker and Tyler Doyne weren't really on the court.
Oh, they wrote them off last year. I can't even tell you how many kids came up to me and said, man, after Tyler and Mac and Aiden leave, what are they going to do? And I said, listen, we've got, we might have lost Tyler, Mac, and Aiden, but we got Jake Dawson and Eric.
Eric
and Cade. Yeah, I mean, we've got guys on here. We got plenty of dudes who are 6'3", 6'4". We got guys who are 6'9". So Sailors in a good spot. Here's Piles, too short on the 3. Hanson's there for the board. Hanson kicks it out to Kreisig now. Kreisig works over to Gideon. Gideon now back to Piles. Piles is going to step back, just handle it beyond the arc as he dishes it now to Lindquist. Lindquist has had kind of a quiet game. He had a pretty solid outing yesterday against Palisade, but today he just has kind of taken that back seat and let his teammates do the dirty work.
A nice steal by Jay Kreisig on the other end.
Dish it out to Hanson for 3. That one's off. Comes right back to him. Flips it over to Piles. Now Piles drives the baseline and nothing doing there, but he draws the foul for 2. And Cade Bishop's going to get called on that one.
Ethan Piles is one of the better players on this team, and honestly even the league at just drawing fouls by using the baseline to his advantage. He's really good at giving a pass fake to set up so he can slash right down where it says Sailors on the baseline there, and then he just comes up and goes right back into the contact and draws the contact almost every time, and you hardly ever see him miss one of those layups without drawing a foul.
So Piles at the free throw line. Yeah, Piles is a very aggressive player, and he's another interesting player. So much of his game is based on the three-point shot, and we see so many of his points come from that, but not a lot of people really realize. I think he catches a lot of people off guard of just how quick he is, because so early in the game, we'll see him shoot 2 or 3, maybe 3 3-point shots, and immediately the other team starts locking him off, saying, "Oh, he's a shooter. Oh, he's a shooter. Let's put let's move our defense around because we know that this kid's a shooter." And then he just surprises him and hits him with a slasher play, brings it inside. He's great around the basket. He has a great layup package, and Piles is one of the most important pieces on this team.
He keeps the defense honest just by being able to stretch him out and then take him in, and then he just confuses the defense. Hey, what is this guy? And truth be told, nobody really knows.
He's got a lot in his bag, and truthfully, I would probably say he's a point guard through and through. He's so good at running the floor. He's got such good vision, and you can see him make some of these passes a lot where they're just impossible.
Yeah.
Here's Rifle getting a takeaway from the Sailors. 1:20 left to go. Sailors leading 53-40. It's a 13-point game, so not as bad as it was. And a push is going to be called here in the waning moments of this one. Goes against James Bogan. So James Bogan, the senior, getting some minutes here late. His brother also on the team, Ben Bogan. And these Bogan brothers, talk about them for a moment. You and I have both grown up playing sports with them. Ben, of course, played football for so long. James is such a great player on this team. He's just got so much heart. Doesn't get a lot of time, but, James Bogan is a fan favorite, and here he comes in the game. He's going to catch the inbounds pass. Bogan now bounce pass to Rowan. Now they work it up the floor. Here's Kreisig. Kreisig now to Metzler. Metzler in the corner. Final minute to go, and a foul is going to be called here. Trayson Lujan forced there. And Rifle had one more foul to give. they had no more fouls to give, so Jackson Metzler is going to head to the line for a 1-and-1. And he makes it. So Metzler extending the lead, make it 54-42, 12-point game, 1:02 to play. This game all but wrapped up. And a reminder that Steamboat Hockey will be later today. You'll be able to catch my counterpart, Brian Harvey. He'll be on the call there at the Howie Dome. That game at 6:30, I believe. And some hockey players in the stands. Tate Doris, shout out to him, and Griffin Maltby down there showing love to the basketball team. Good luck in your game later today, fellas, as they had a tough one yesterday against Aspen. Did you go to that game by chance?
I did go to that game. It was that hockey team is something to be proud of. It ended up in a tie. It was they came back. They were down 0-1 in the second, and then ended up tying it up at 2-2, and then they had one overtime, but unfortunately it just ended in a 2-2 tie.
So a good performance against Aspen too, who's one of the rivals of this Sailors team. And Gideon with a last-second layup, 45 seconds to go. Rifles trying to make quick work, down by 13 points. It's Alonzo Ruiz. Ruiz over to Pierce. Pierce into the corner. Here's Pressler. Pressler drives in, and his shot's going to be blocked. And that's really the exclamation point as Jake Kreisig ends the game for the Sailors. 29 seconds to go. Crowd loving it, on their feet. Feeling the energy at Kelly Meek Gymnasium. James Bogan